Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Revelations. I'm Pastor Chuck Reich, the show host and executive producer. The series all about evangelism and discipleship. We're highlighting ministries all around the world, hoping that you'd get a couple revelations. First of all, God is still working, and second of all, there is a part for you to be playing within the body of Christ. And today, we're in Birmingham, Alabama, visiting Safe Harbor, and with me is the executive director, Sean Hannon. Sean, thank you so much for spending some time with Annette and I and letting our viewers hear a little bit about what God's doing through Safe Harbor.
We're glad to have you here. Thank you for coming.
You're welcome. So, you're the executive director. You guys have been ministering here in Birmingham, Alabama to some families in crisis, and now you're ready to take this program national. Tell our viewers a little bit about what God has shown you guys on how to minister.
Thank you. Safe Harbor has a great legacy here in Birmingham, Alabama since 1998. We've helped hundreds of families through a support group style ministry, reaching people that have teens that are struggling with, of course, substance abuse, drugs and alcohol, and tobacco use, but also other forms of rebellion, anger, depression, defiance, just you name it, the things that unsettle a home and that really try and tax the family unit and especially the marriage. Our success in Birmingham has translated into the desire to reach more people, to help them, to see more restored families.
Yeah. So basically, families that are struggling here in Birmingham, pick a city, there's couples with children
Absolutely.
that need some help and to navigate some stuff. So,
Absolutely.
You know, we talked a little bit earlier, and you mentioned just because a son or daughter may be using drugs doesn't necessarily mean they're addicted and need a recovery program. Talk a little bit about that, how it's rebellion and maybe some foundational things that just need to be addressed in the home.
Sure. Well, our encouragement, especially as parents, is to see the warning signs as early as possible and to really address those. It's not just a phase. The risk is that they could be sampling or getting into something that could turn into a lifetime struggle for them.
Right.
At this point, it might just be use and abuse, but it can translate into hardcore addiction later in their life. And so our goal is to try to catch it early in the teen years as a young adult so that it doesn't turn into a lifelong behavior.
And what I like is that you guys are ministering to the couple. It's important that the husband and wife are healthy
Absolutely.
and on the same page as they try to minister downstream to the children, those godly offspring we're supposed to be raising up. Talk about that, the foundation for the couple.
Absolutely. Well, of course, as you know, the marriage unit, as it is ordained by God, is the most important foundation to a healthy family. And it's natural that we parent differently. We discipline differently. We have different backgrounds and different experiences as parents. But when you're raising children, it's so important to be united, to be praying with your spouse, to be on the same page, especially when you're facing a trial with your child. Yeah. It's just imperative to help your family be healthy and live godly lifestyle.
In talking with you, you mentioned that a lot of families are reaching out to you when they're in crisis mode. I know in Psalms 107 it uses, when they were at their wits' end, they cried out to the Lord. They don't necessarily need to be that far before they get plugged into a program like this.
Absolutely. No, the earlier the better, especially warning signs. Ideally, in a sense, we should be pointing a lot of attention in the middle school years because we joke and say that every child is compliant at age 11, 12 years old. They obey well, they do well in school, they're active in sports and athletics, but something changes, time changes, and it changes them as they enter into maturity. And those are the pivotal years that we need to be very careful with children and watching who their friends are, what their activities are, and so coming in as early as possible to come between them and what they're getting into.
Yeah, I heard a lot about terrible twos, maybe it's terrible teens, but at the end of the day, it's just that human sin nature. And we've gotten some interviews from some families who've been through the program, and a common statement came up, it's really just sin and a lack of God in the family. Talk a little bit about that.
Absolutely. Well, some families that come to Safe Harbor for help have had a great family experience. They've had the ideal, a wonderful Christian home. Others have not. So it's important to have the correct focus, to focus our trust and our lives and our eyes on Christ and His love for us, His grace, and the renewal that we can have in Him.
Yeah, so give our viewers a little overview of the program that's available online, how it might be able to be hosted at churches or small group settings.
Absolutely. At Safe Harbor, we have created a parenting video series, a 10-session series that is available for parents online anywhere with internet access. And so our encouragement is to visit our website and to sign up and to go through the program online. We have 10 sessions, 10 videos that are about 30 minutes apiece, and each of those is presented by a licensed counselor with many, many years of experience, a Christian counselor, focusing on topics that you need as a parent to raise your family in a godly way and in the direction that you want to go in.
Well, keep watching. We're going to get some more interviews, talk a little bit more about Safe Harbor from some of the folks who've been through the program and how the Lord is using this to restore their families.
I first learned about Safe Harbor through a probation officer for my son, Jacob. He was placed in handcuffs in my living room September 25th, 2014.
I got arrested for having marijuana, and my probation officer actually recommended it to my parents, and that's when I started going to Safe Harbor.
He admitted that he was smoking weed, and he told me they wasn't going to stop smoking weed. He liked smoking weed, he's going to continue to do weed. No matter what I said, that's what it's going to be. I said, well, you live in my house, got to abide by my rules.
Talking to some of the mentors really helped turn me. Their experiences in life, what they went through as a teen, and they kind of showed me that, you know, this really isn't the right way to go about life. Your choices really do matter right now, even though they seem like they don't. They will affect your life.
I could tell that the mentors' talks they were having were really getting through to Jacob. His attitude changed, his life changed. He started doing better in school, he started trying more, he started being more fun to be around.
Without Safe Harbor, I'd probably be still doing the same things I was doing back then. I don't even know if I'd be in college. I may have graduated high school or not sure, but without Safe Harbor, I would be in a completely different world.
When difficulties happen in a family, it affects not only maybe the child that's involved, but it affects the mom, it affects the dad, it can affect the siblings and other family members, and it can have real devastating effects on a marriage. And I have seen Safe Harbor work into the lives of these families, and they created the Calming the Storm video series to do that, to speak into the lives of families, to bring peace, to bring hope, and to be a calming force for families.
Really fearing for our daughter because we had given her the alternative of following the rules in our home or else having to leave, and she chose to leave. And so Safe Harbor helped us and supported us through the journey of her being in and out of our home.
Many times it's a spiritual problem. Many times it's just a presence of sin and an absence of Jesus, frankly, in all of their lives and their family lives. And it gets to a point, it snowballs to a point to where it just gets away from them.
The vision of Safe Harbor is definitely to bring God back into the home and to reestablish the dynamic of families that are in pain and going through crisis.
As people who work in church will know, there's so much pain in the world. There's so many difficulties in families, and there are not enough pastors to help. So we all need other resources that we can help. We need other counselors, we need other ministries to help, and the Safe Harbor can step into the role of that. They can use the video series in small groups. They can use the video series in sanctuaries. They can use the video series just to recommend to parents and to families who are struggling.
The videos are very good. There are numerous topics such as marriage, videos with anger, rebellion, boundaries. It changes lives, it changes families, it changed my family.
So it lends a support system all around. Building faith has been a huge part of this.
Going through the Safe Harbor classes, we're faith-based. When we talk about faith and talk about God and His role in our lives and in our homes and in the everyday decisions that we make.
To talk to families who are in the middle of a crisis with their child and just lend them support and some comfort in knowing that Safe Harbor has the tools to help you in whatever situations you're dealing with your child.
I don't know of anybody around the world that couldn't go on the website and avail themselves of the opportunities there and the resources there and get a tremendous amount out of it.
You know, I'm living proof that it means a lot, and that your decisions that you make young and the way that your family works together, it affects the rest of your life.
I want to invite you to take a look at our website, revelationstvseries.org. It's produced by Horizon Media Studios. It's a 501c3 media ministry, and what we're doing is helping other ministries tell their story. Homeless shelters and children's homes, Bible colleges, seminaries, mission sending agencies. With your help, we can continue to help tell their story, to inspire the world, to shine their light and let God get the glory for the work that's being done in advancing the kingdom of Jesus Christ.